Here we are. We're back. Jason's YouTube channel. And look, I haven't been around in so stinking long that I decided to bring you one of my personal favorites. And I presume it's probably one of your personal favorites. But right now we got the great book of American idioms. If you gone back, way back to some of my first videos, boy, did I ever rant about idioms. And here's the thing. This just became relevant to me. You know, man, I spent a good part of my early adulthood, childhood, all of that good stuff, being a pretty carefree, happy-go-lucky type of guy. And I think that one of the reasons that I felt that way, not feel, but back then I felt that way, that I could be happy-go-lucky, was partially due to a specific maturity level within myself, but also, you know, who you surround yourself with in your environment and your social status and things like that. I mean, you can be more carefree and not so literal and things like that. But as adulthood has progressed, you know, I'd say probably around the time I was about 30, you know, I had my first child at 27. It's probably a time when I hit a specific maturity level. And dang it, I don't know what happened, but man, I became so literal. It's like everything that someone says, like I take it literal. You can make a joke with me, you can do this, say that, whatever, and I'm just going to take it literal. So dang it, folks, let's just say what you mean what you say. You just not beat around the bush and talk crazy talk. Just say exactly what you mean so I can hear exactly what you mean and understand that. And that's what I found about idioms. And I just randomly went on a rant one day about these things. And I was like, dang it, I'm going to do a little bit more research and I'm going to find out a little bit more about what idioms are. So boom, pow, here we go. Book, the great book of American idioms. And just a quick little understanding of the idioms and what they are. You know, idioms are the fact of being able to communicate with a fluency that put you on the same level as the people who have been speaking the language all their lives. And it's a true challenge that many struggle to achieve. So, you know, when you're using idioms, I mean, you got to think about these people that they may not even be from America, or blessed if you're from Oklahoma and they're from New York and you say something completely different and they're not even going to understand what you're saying. So, you know, be cognitive of that fact if you're going to communicate with someone else, and don't be so dang stubborn that you're going to communicate in your own way and not be able to adapt to where other people can understand what you're saying and what you mean by what you say. That's just the introduction. I've gone through, made some highlights. We're going to do this thing. So, idioms, what are they? Idioms are phrases that add value to sentences through figurative and literal meanings, allowing the speaker to express their emotions, thoughts, and interests. On an uneducated level, I might add. If you have to use idioms to express your thoughts, it might come across to me, at the very least, that you might be so uneducated that you don't have any other way to explain it. So you have to do it in a non-literal aspect. Doesn't mean I'm innocent on using idioms. I use idioms too. I can't help it. That's the way I was raised. I was raised to use these phrases. Doggone it. Okay, all of these are reasons why, and I'm going to read you one of these reasons why. Do you need to explain that you have no idea what somebody is saying, but you are not sure how to say it amusingly? Okay, so if you don't understand what someone is saying, then why do you have to make a joke and say something amusing? Why can't you just look at that person in the eyes and say, hey, jackass, I don't know what you're saying. Will you please say that so I'll understand exactly what you mean by your words? Because I might spend the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, or I might spend the next week trying to figure out what you just said to me, sir. Moving on. Okay, rubbish. Let's just get to it. Let's just get to the idioms. Bam, idioms. I don't know, how should we do this? Are you going to take part in this with me? Are you going to come watch these idiom videos? let's just start at the first one. We're just going to babble on, and if I feel the need to just really rant on something, I'm going to rant on something. 9 to 5, an average job schedule. We all know that one. We're not going to be able to avoid using that. That's American as apple pie. Wait a minute. Did I just use an idiom? The bad apple. A baker's dozen. This one bothers me. This one really, a baker's dozen, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm going to tell you a dozen, that just means give me 12. How are we going to take a dozen and we're just going to turn it into, no. I don't want a baker's dozen. I want a dozen, or vice versa. Just damn. Why would you say 12? Let's just get it. Let's just make it literal. Just say 12. Give me 12. 12, please, sir. 12 cervezas, por favor. A ballpark figure. Oh, I love that one, boy. That means an approximate figure. Heck, Jason, I don't know. Just give me a ballpark figure. $2 trillion. That's a ballpark figure. That's how much. Just give me $2 trillion. Okay, let's see a ballpark figure while we're at it. This unemployment thing we got going on. Executive order Mr. POTUS signed yesterday. Well, heck, he should have just put a ballpark figure down on you're on unemployment. You need some money. You need to feed your family. What's a ballpark figure? Let's give him an extra $1 a day. I like that. The bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Boy, I'm not even reading that one. If you ever tell me a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, I'm going to slap you upside the face. And I don't even condone violence. A bit, a little bit. Interesting. A bit, a little bit. To a small extent or a small amount. I'm okay with a little bit. Just give me a little bit. If you ask me, would you like some food off my plate? And I tell you a little bit, it means give me the plate of food. I want to devour a little bit. A blessing in disguise. Boy, that's just, I can't say anything negative about that because that's just a positive statement if I ever did hear one. It's a blessing in disguise. Ugh, man, I was at the state fair and I had a corn dog and, man, it just started running right through me and I sharted a little bit in my pants. But, it was a blessing in disguise, wasn't it? Man. A bone to pick. There's no avoiding this one. Because we all got bones to pick. A bone to pick is the reason why one is upset. A bone to pick is probably the reason I'm doing this. I'm reading from a book. I paid. I'm one of the cheapest gentlemen on the planet, on the face of the earth, okay? And I purchased a book about idioms. Strictly because I have a bone to pick. Clearly I have a bone to pick. A breath of fresh air. Boy, that's just a breath of fresh air. A person who is different from others in a very positive way. Everyone thought that Sasha was a breath of fresh air. She was so clever and friendly and so different from everyone else they'd ever met. Well, how come they didn't use my name in this book? I'm a breath of fresh air. You smell that? That's that fresh air Jason. Hey, no need to go out there and look at all these stores for Lysol. Boy, you got Jason. He's just a breath of fresh air. Call me on over. Let's do this thing, man. I might even kill COVID, too. Where are we at? We're at 9 minutes. I got to wrap this up. Dadgummit. We're only going to make it to page 8 today. A bunch of... Man, moving on. A chip on your shoulder. I've become convinced over the last couple years that if you even plan on being a professional sports athlete, then you've got to have a chip on your shoulder. I'm not sure why. I'm not. I don't know. What was it? Just the other day, old Cam Newton. Cam Newton says he's got a chip on his shoulder. Boy, if Cam Newton comes around me with that chip on that shoulder, specifically if it's one of those wavy Lay's mesquite barbecue chips, I'm gonna eat that chip on the shoulder. He's not getting away from me without me eating that chip on that shoulder. I hope that doesn't affect his play, because he's a New England Patriot now. Bless the Patriots. A day late and a dollar short. A dime a dozen. Boy, I could sure go the rest of my life and never hear a dime a dozen again. That's it for this video. We'll be back. We're on page 8. Moving on to page 9. Okay? Idioms.